Hi everyone. So in previous class we discussed about the botanical gardens of the world. Okay? So in today's session we will discuss about the botanical gardens of India. Let's begin. We know that botanical garden means what? It is a place where variety of plants are grown primarily for the scientific reasons or educational reasons, but they are normally open to the public, okay? And they include ornamental plants from around the world. The botanical gardens are dedicated a place for the conservation and exhibition of different varieties of the plants as well as the trees. Sometimes they are also associated with the zoos. And the Botanical Survey of India is responsible to survey the plant resource of the countries. Botanical Survey of India means BSI, okay? So it is responsible to the survey the plant resources of our country. And there are many botanical gardens in India. I have chosen only the important top 9 botanical gardens of India. Okay, so the first one, that is Indian Botanical Garden. So this Indian Botanical Garden, it is the largest and oldest botanical garden of India. It is situated at Sibpur near Kolkata, and it was formerly known as Royal Botanical Garden or Kolkata Botanic Garden. And the Botanic Garden has completed its bicentenary, means 200th anniversary of the year, and it was started by Robert Yard in 1787, and it was organized by the person known as William Roxburgh, and it was developed by Nathaniel Wieland. So the garden occupies an area of 110 hectares. It is situated on the west bank of river known as Hooghly. It has nearly 15,000 live specimens, including large collections of the bamboos, cycads and palm trees. It has two large greenhouses, several nurseries and special collections of Bougainvillea, vitis, Jasminium and Nymphia species you can see in this botanic garden. And you can see here there is a giant water lilies like Victoria amazonica and Victoria cruziana are conspicuous in some of the garden ponds. The famous landmark of the garden is the great banyan tree you can see here, which is said to be about 500 years old. Okay, and the present circumferences of its branches is about 29 meters and 1328 feet, and its height is 98. So before it was like this, and now it has become a giant great banyan tree. Okay, so the tree is now growing without its unidentifiable main trunk, and a library is also maintained in the botanic garden consisting of 31,500 species, and rare books are present in this botanic garden also, which is chiefly meant for the reference work, and books are sent to a loan to recognized botanists throughout the India. So this is said to be the oldest and best library in India. And the herbarium is India's largest herbarium with about 15 lakh specimens present here. And the herbarium was started by William Roxburgh in the year 1793 at his own residence on the Hooghly River bank. So it was moved to herbarium building in 1883 and is now a modern four-stored building. Okay, so this was about the Indian Botanical Garden. So this garden occupies an area of 110 hectares, and here you will see there are two large greenhouses and several nurseries. Also there are few special collections of the species of Bougainvillea, Jasminium, Nymphia and vitis. Also there are great water lilies, or they are known as Victoria amazonica and Victoria cruziana. Okay, they are found in the garden ponds of the botanic garden. Also you will see a famous great banyan tree which is about 500 years old, and it is still now extending, and the main trunk is unidentifiable even today. Okay, so there is presence of library, and here in this library you will get 31,500 and rare books, and these books are sent to some of the botanists for their research studies. And also there is a presence of herbarium which is known as the India's largest herbarium center, which consists of 15 lakh specimens. And the herbarium, it was started by the William Roxburgh. Okay, so the next one, that is Saharanpur Botanical Garden. So this botanical garden, which is situated in Saharanpur, this garden started in the year 1779 when the Muslim ruler known as Zabita Khan decided to spend the revenue of 7 villages on the maintenance of the garden at Saharanpur. And the garden has an area of nearly 40 acres with sections for linear gardens and agricultural and also horticultural nurseries. So there are three sections. One first one is the linear gardens, which is based on the Carlinians, and the specimens are arranged according to that system of classification there. And you will see agricultural gardens and horticultural nursery. And in the beginning, when the garden was made, several plants like a potato, tobacco, pineapple, guava, chilies, papaya, sapota, etc., they were brought from the America and planted in this garden. And in 1876, a person known as Dutai, he took over as a superintendent of this garden. And this man selected young people from the garden staff and trained them for the plant collection, which resulted in the completion of the flora of Upper Gangetic plains. And the collections of the mosses, which are known as the bryophytes, at Saranpur represented the rich flora of northwest Himalayas. And the garden now is the horticultural research station of the Uttar Pradesh government. Okay, so this was about the botanic garden which is situated at Saranpur. So this garden is having plants like potato, tobacco, pineapple and papaya, which were brought from America and planted in this botanic garden. Also, this garden is now known as the horticultural research station of the UP government now, and it is having mosses, that is no that is the bryophytes, which represent the rich flora of the northwest Himalayas. Next one, that is Lalbagh Botanical Garden. So this garden has won a privileged place among the garden of the world and is regarded as one of the best in East for its layout, maintenance, botanical interest and science beauty. So one of the person known as Marshal Tito, when he visited India in 1955, he commented by saying this garden, India is a garden and Lalbagh is the heart of it. So we can imagine how beautifully the Lalbagh garden was. So he said, India is a garden and Lalbagh is the heart of it. So this garden houses and nurses plants from the Australia, Africa, South America, North America, and it has introduced a group of plants, multiplied edible plants, medicinal plants, industrial plants, ornamental plants and other economic plants, which are brought from the parts of the world. Because of the roses and other red flowers, the name Lal Bagh was first given to the garden by Hyder Ali in 1760. Now the garden, occupying an area approximate of 240 acres, it is now a big center for horticulture activities. It has well equipped laboratories for the soil and seed testing, and also tree nurseries, fruit nurseries, school garden, herbal garden, and economic garden. So, this was all about the Lalbagh Botanical Garden. Fourth one, that is government botanical gardens. So this botanical garden is in the Udagamandalam in Uti. The garden covers an area of 55 hectares and divided into several sections. The whole garden has traced layout. Okay, so the whole garden, it is having a traced layout. It is maintained by the horticultural department of the state. So the garden is, it is maintained by the horticulture department of the state itself, and it was established in 1848 and designed by William Graham McLeod. And during this British period, this garden was used to supply the vegetables. And it was established on the slopes of the hills at an elevation of around 2,200 meters above the mean sea level, with a separate climate and rainfall of 140 centimeter. Temperature is varied between 28 degrees celsius to 0 degrees celsius. And the Udagamandalam is a home to the thousand species of exotic and indigenous plants, and the garden also hosts flowers show and has nurseries, public conservatories, and Italian gardens and fountain terraces. So, what is exotic and indigenous plants now? So, exotic means what? So, the plants which have come from the outside India are known as the exotic plants. Okay, indigenous plants means native plants. So, you will see the exotic and indigenous plants in the Uti, that is a government botanical garden. Next one, that is Lloyd Botanic Garden. So this garden, Lloyd Botanic Garden, is situated in the district of Darjeeling, and it is situated at a distance of 386 miles from the Kolkata. And the garden is situated at an elevation of about 6,000 feet in the East Himalayas. And here the indigenous plants, they are the native trees or the plants. Here they represent more or less the characteristic of the flora of the Sikkim Himalayas. And the position of the garden is the heart of the Himalayas. It is the unique of its kind in the east. And the land of the present garden was donated by the Mr. William Lloyd in 1878, and it was named after his name as Lloyd Botanic Garden. And the progress of the garden was slow in the beginning, and the activities of this garden from 1910 onwards, it reached a high standard, and the collection and distribution of the seeds plants and the bulb plants came to be a special feature of the work which was undertaken among the officers of this garden. And in 1930, Mr. S.N. Basu became the permanent curator of this garden. Curator means keeper or the custodian of the garden. So, who became the custodian of the garden? Mr. S.N. Basu. And the area of the garden is 40 acre, and this area is roughly divided into three main sections. The first section is upper indigenous sections. Upper indigenous means upper native plants. And the lower exotic section, lower exotic section means plants which were brought from the outside India. And third one, that is a miscellaneous section. Miscellaneous means the plants which have sharp point leaves and flowers on the long stem. So these are the three main sections of this garden. And the garden has endless variety of evergreen plants, also the deciduous plants. So the spacious orchidium means where the orchids are grown. Okay, so you will see here, these are the two species of the orchids which I have posted here. So the orchidium contains over 12,000 specimens of beautiful orchids representing all the habitats. And you will see here this one. Okay, so it is the coniferous section, and the most attractive is the Australian colitrus with its evergreen bluish foliage leaves. Okay, so these are the conifer sections. And you will also see the tulip trees, oaks in this botanic garden. And here there is a presence of a herbarium center also. So the herbarium center, it consists of 30,000 common species of eastern Himalayas, and these are arranged according to the Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Moving towards the next slide. So the next one, botanic garden, is Jawaharlal Nehru Botanical Garden. So this garden is located close to the Rumtek Monastery in the Sikkim. And the botanical garden hosts flower exhibitions and home to the rare species of the orchids and rhododendron species. So this botanic garden, it is located in the Sikkim, and the garden is located in the Sikkim near Rumtek Monastery. It is a place and it is a popular among the tourists. This garden was established in 1987, and it is maintained by the Forest Department of the Sikkim under the units of parks as well as the gardens. So they are maintaining this botanic garden under the units of the park as well as the garden. And the garden has a collection of around 1.5 lakh decorative plants and the oak varieties. And there are many gardens along with the Nehru garden, and here there is a waterfall which add up its beauty with majestic snow-capped mountain of the Himalayas. So this was all about the Jawaharlal Nehru Botanic Garden. Moving towards the next botanic garden, that is National Botanic Garden. It is located in the Lucknow. So it is having a beautiful history. So it was originally a garden of a Nawab of Ayodhya. Okay, so it was a garden of Nawab of the Ayodhya. Later it was converted into a botanic garden under the control of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So the site of the National Botanic Garden is popularly known to the public of Lucknow as Sikandra Bagh. So, however, it is an old garden situated at the corner of a present National Botanic Garden. It was built by Nawab Sadat Ali Khan, and it was adopted by Wajid Ali Shah, who named it after his queen Sikandra Mahal Begum. So, the present National Botanic Garden is spread over about 75 acres on the south bank of the river Gomti, and it is having two entrances, that is Rana Pratap Marg on the south and Ashok Marg near the east. And when we enter the garden from the Ashok Marg, we shall see a large orchid on both the sides of the road. So there is a presence of orchid plants on the both the sides of the road when we enter from the Ashok Marg. As I said, we will see a large orchard on the both the sides of the road. So on the left side we will see citrus orchard, and on the right side we will see mango orchard. And in this garden we will also see an ancient giant banyan tree with its trunk covered with huge leaves of pathos. And also there are collections of the roses, and there is a presence of vanastali or woodland, which is a large area thickly planted with trees and forming a beautiful picnic spot. And the conservatory with a large number of shade loving species is situated in the southwestern portion of the garden. So this botanic garden, it is also having a well equipped laboratories of the tissue culture. So this was all about the National Botanical Garden, which is situated in the Lucknow. Next one, it is Assam State Botanic Garden. So the Assam State Botanical Garden, which is situated in the Guwahati. So this Assam State, it is Zukam Botanic Garden. It is the largest garden of its kind in the Northeast India. And the Guwahati Zoo and Botanical Garden is the home to animals, birds, and the plants. This botanical garden is known as the Guwahati Botanical Garden, and on 432 acres of the land. So the area is around 432 acre, and it was established in 1958. It is combined with Assam Zoo, and the gardens contain here 345 different kinds of variety of flora or the plants. And it is also having the herbarium section, which includes 280 species of the exotic plants. Exotic plants means what I said, the plants which were brought from the outside our country. And it includes bamboo species, palm species, and also orchid species. It has many rare plants like pitcher plants, that is the insectivorous plant. It's one of the finest botanical garden of northeast India. So this Assam State Botanical Garden, which is present in Guwahati, it is a zoo cum botanical garden. And here the land is of 432 acre, and it was established in 1958. And this garden consists of 345 different kinds of varieties of the plants. And it also include the herbarium section, which is having 282 species of the exotic plants. And also in this garden we will see bamboo species, palm trees, also the orchid species. Next one, that is Semozi Ponga Botanical Garden. This Semozi Ponga Botanical Garden in Chennai was set by the Horticulture Department of the Tamil Nadu. So it is situated in Chennai, and it was set by Department of the Horticulture in Tamil Nadu. And the botanic garden is first in the city and houses for exotic floras and the rare plants. Flora means plants only. And the word Simozi Ponga means the classical language park. Okay, so the word Simozi Ponga means what? It is the classical language park. And it was set by the Chennai in combination with the government of Tamil Nadu. And it is having 20 acre of the land, and on 24th November 2010 it was opened to the public. And it is located on the Cathedral Road. It is having 500 plant varieties and some of the old trees which have been planted over 100 years. And the garden house develops some of the rare exotic plants which were imported from the Chennai and Thailand, and also the aromatic and medicinal herbs like bonsai and many more you will see in this garden. So this was all about the botanical gardens of the India. So the importance of the botanical gardens, so they help in the study of the taxonomic research, and it helps in the botanical research study. It is a place where a variety of endangered species of the flora and fauna are conserved in one place. And it is very important so that the rare species and the flora can be studied here, and it helps in the conservation of varieties of plant species. And the interesting fact about the botanical gardens in India, so the government botanical garden, which is located in Udagamandala, that is known as the Uti, so it is famous for the huge collections of the roses. Okay, so this garden is considered as the largest garden for roses in India. And the Lal Bagh, it is termed as the Red Garden, which is situated in the Bangalore. So the Lal Bagh seems to be old Mughal architecture combined with old and modern Arctic touch, and it is the genetic center for maintaining the plants. And various scientific technical researchers are organized here. And also we see that Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose, which is also known as the Indian Botanical Garden, which is located in Nasipur in West Bengal. So this botanical garden is famous for the wide variety of the species of plants. And it is also having a great banyan tree, which is the landmark of this garden, which is considered as the largest tree in the world. And next one interesting fact about the Lloyd Botanic Garden is, in this garden it is situated an altitude of about 2100 meters in the heart of the Darjeeling town near the West Bengal, in the West Bengal. And the most interesting plant over here is the 118-year-old woody climbers known as Wisteria chinensis. So these are few of the interesting facts of the Botanical Garden of India. So I hope you guys understood well about the Botanical Gardens of India. Thank you.